Hey everyone, it's Brandon from Top10Gamer.com, and today we're going to show you a little Battlefield Hardline action while I'm showing you my most recent PC build, which takes some beta benchmarks into consideration. Now, every time a Battlefield comes out, I'm anxious to get out there and automatically upgrade my PC. This time around, it looks like Hardline won't necessarily require anything more graphically intense than Battlefield 4, but I still have that itch to upgrade. I guess it must be a PC gamer thing. Speaking of graphics, it looks like this time EA learned their lesson as Battlefield Hardline appears to be very well optimized, at least so far from what we can see. Techspot did a beta Battlefield 4 performance preview with numbers from 768, 1020, and 1600p. Overall, these numbers look very Battlefield 4-esque, with AMD cards coming in slightly higher than they do with other games. I'll leave a link to this page and others in the description below for anyone who is curious about any other numbers. Now let's take a look at the system requirements for Battlefield Hardline. Okay, so as you can see, it's really not too bad. The only kind of weird thing that I did notice here is that the AMD recommendation for graphics card is the AMD Radeon R9 290, and the NVIDIA recommendation is the GeForce GTX 760, and these are kind of far apart in terms of performance, the R9 290 being much better than the GTX 760. So really you could go with the R9 280X or R9 285 here and you'd be perfectly fine. Before we get into the meat and potatoes of the $1,000 build, I wanted to mention that you can find additional information in the description of this video as well as on the website. Also, if you use the Amazon link in the description, it gives me a small kickback and goes to support the channel. Another option is to use the G2A link to buy games at a discount. Now let's talk about your graphics card options here. At the $300 to $350 price point, there are really only two main choices. You could go with the R9 290X or the GTX 970. While the GTX 970 doesn't perform as well as the R9 290 in a game like Battlefield Hardline here, I still think it's the better choice as it outperforms the R9 290X in many games, is more energy efficient and G-Sync compatible. That being said, the R9 290X occasionally comes out on discount, as well as you might be able to swing a good price once we learn a little bit more about the R9 300 series that hopefully gets released sooner rather than later. Catching this when they're trying to clear this out could save you quite a lot of money. For processor, you could go with any number of options here. An AMD FX 8320 at around $150 would be a cheap way to go, but in the $200 category, I'm going with either the i5-4690 if I just want to use the boost up to 3.9 gigahertz, or I'm going with the i5-4690K if I'm an overclocker. You're going to get all the performance you need for a game like this and for many, many years to come. Now, the Broadwell release has already happened on laptops, and the desktop version should be coming out within the next 6 months. However, in terms of performance, it's not going to give you that big of a boost because this was just a die shrink type performance boost. So, in other words, you know, you could go with the Haswell refresh right now, or you should probably wait till Skylake, which looks like it's going to be released in the last part of 2015. For motherboard, you can go with the Z87 or Z97 chipset option here. The Z97 is Broadwell and SATA Express compatible, but overall won't mean much to most builders. If you can save a little money here by going with a clearance Z87 board, go ahead and do it. They're going to be trying to get rid of these boards as they release Broadwell and Skylake over the next year, so you can definitely save a lot of money there. Boards I've seen extremely cheap on Newegg and Amazon include the Z87 Pro, the Gigabyte GA-G1 Sniper Z87, which are both heavily on rebate, the Z97A, which is the Asus Z97A, which is a great feature-rich Z97 motherboard, or if you need a budget option, the Gigabyte GA Z97-HD3. For your RAM, I like Kingston's HyperX Fury kit this month. Get 8 gigabytes and it shouldn't cost you more than around $70. I've seen it as cheap as $65. Good, fast, reliable RAM. I also like the G-Skill Ripjaw series anytime they come on sale or are available at a discount. For power supply, I recommend around 600 watts. Lately, the EVGA 600B has been a steal, so I'd go ahead and go with that. For computer cases, there's a ton of good options, and everybody's got their opinion about what the best computer case is going to be. Right now, I like the Corsair Carbide Spec-01, just because it's on sale this month. It looks great. It's got a window. I always have to have a window. Very sturdy USB 3 case for around $50. For CPU cooler, I recommend the Hyper 212 Evo here. We got to stay in budget, and for $30, it's one of the best under $100 CPU coolers on the market. That includes liquid coolers. I pretty much use it in every PC that I make. If you don't plan on overclocking, you might be able to get away with using the stock heatsink cooler, but overall for $30, it's hard not to go towards a direction like this. For storage, I'm going to recommend what I've been buying multiple times over and over again lately. It's the Western Digital Caviar Blue hard drive, 1 terabyte for 50 bucks. Hey, that's hard to beat. Now, another option here that you could do, one that I would probably do just in terms of computer's overall performance, is get a solid state drive here. For about $100 to $120, you can get the Crucial M1 or the Samsung 850 and about 250 gigabytes. One option you could do, you could downgrade to the GTX 960 here, go with something like that, and then you'd still stay within your $1,000 budget. But then you'd be faster on everything else you do, all of your loading times. You know, when I get into Battlefield 4, I'm always the first one in there because I put all my games on solid state drive. Definitely worth considering as well. Okay, hopefully you guys are liking the Battlefield Hardline footage that you're seeing, and hopefully you're enjoying the open beta if you're doing that. It looks like it's going to be a pretty good game. We don't have a full idea of exactly how the game will be. I'm a little sad that we're not going to get any tanks. Jets I could probably do without, but I'm enjoying the new game modes that are out there, like Heist. So anyway, I'm definitely going to be in the game, and definitely looking forward to the full release in March. That's my thoughts on this $1,000 build as well. Don't forget to leave me a comment, like, and subscribe this video for more just like it, and use the links in the description below to help us out. We'll see you next time.